Hello, grand readers. What a thrill I have today. I'm going to be interviewing one of Joan's Golden Bachelors from the first Golden Bachelorette show. And I have with me Bob Kilroy, who sadly didn't make it past the second episode, but that's okay. We still got a lot of inside scoop to find out from Bob. And I'm really looking forward to it. Bob, hello.
Hello. How are you?
Great, great. So nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me here.
You bet. I want to get right into it, and let me pop up my cheat sheet here in front of me so that I can take a look at that. And I just let me also I want to also adjust the view real quickly. And there we go. Let's do that. Okay. So now, Bob, I'm curious about for you, and I know our readers would love to know this, is what was your favorite part of the show?
I think it was just, I mean, for in the okay, the adventure in general was just amazing. It was a one of a kind thing. When when I was first approached to do it, I turned to Meg, my kid, and I said, "Well, what do you think?" And they said, "Oh, Dad, you've got to do it." And I said, "Well, why?" I said, "You turned down the chance to be on America's Next Top Model." And she said, "Yes, I did. And I still wish I hadn't. So I don't want you to do that. I want you to go do it too." And at that point, I was all in. My favorite part of it was probably, I'll be honest, it was being with the guys, it was hanging out, it was doing stuff in the kitchen. It was just, it was just like men doing manly things with other men in manly ways.
Brilliant. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, so then that kind of led into my next question is what was your family's reaction to being on the Golden Bachelorette? And
Um,
oh, sorry. And then also, I'm curious too about the whole process of how you got picked and how many interviews you had to go on. But let's go. What about your family?
well, like I said, Meg was very, 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 very supportive of it. And um, my sister, who lives in Massachusetts and Maine, and leads a much more, um, I don't want to say a much more East Coast kind of, I don't want to say conservative from a political standpoint, but just that
Yeah,
it was like, "You want to do
non-flashy,
this?" What was the word?
non-flashy,
Exactly. Kind of
and
a
this is very
quite,
Hollywood,
not quite puritanical, but
right?
but just, but like, why would you want to do something like that? And but they were all in. They were all saying like, "Hey, if that's what you want to go do it."
Great. So tell us about the process. I mean, you did you submit the application? Did somebody submit it for you? And then
They
tell us what
found
happened.
they found me online,
Mhm.
and like I said, reached out and said, "Do I want to do it?" And when I said yes, um, at first I was rather daunted by the amount of stuff that they would do as far as background checks and interview with this casting person, interview with this casting person. Okay, that did really, really well. We're going to send you on to the next casting person. And it just evolved and evolved and evolved. And each step of the way, it was everybody was really, really pleasant. My uh, my Meg turned to me and said, "Okay, Dad, there's going to be thousands of people, tens of thousands of people auditioning for this. What makes you special?" And I went, "You're asking me?" And she goes, "Okay, you here, look, let's do this. You're a doctor. Okay, you're a good looking guy, but there's going to be a lot of good looking guys out there. You're a doctor, but you're not a real doctor. You're a chiropractor." And I said, "And who do you like to work with? Who's your favorite group of patients?" "The women's roller derby." And she said, "Aside from that, you live at the beach, you lifeguarded for 40 years, you're down there in the water every day. you're the dude from California. That's going to be your persona. And boom. And she said, that's it. She said, but Dad, that's not enough. No. She said, now you have to have a backstory. And your backstory is going to be, going to be part of it because there are going to be a lot of other interesting people. They can pick a lot of dudes, but how many of those dudes were struck and killed by lightning?
In the water.
Yeah, I was teaching my kid how to surf, and a freak bolt of lightning, first one that came down out of a cloud, just took me out, left me dead and floating in the water. They grabbed me, they dragged me back up to the shore. Lifeguards did about 12, 13 minutes of CPR on me and, you know, brought me back to life. But so Meg was like, okay, so not only is this your second chance at love, this is also your second chance at life. And I'm like, damn, you're good at this. And that's the story I told. And I just kept getting handed on from person to person to person. And I mean, everybody from casting to production to the psych team, the background check team, they were very lovely, very concerned, very professional, but really, really nice.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. And I'm happy to hear they did a thorough background check. That didn't even enter my mind because I just think everybody's good, right?
Yeah, I kind of worked from that place
Yeah.
too.
And so, but it's true. They're not everybody is good. So I'm happy to hear that. That was a great insight that you shared for us. Thank you. Really
Yeah, and when
great.
they came back and said, they showed me some report, and I went, "Oh my God, completely forgot about that time when I was a freshman in college and I was on top of the Kentucky Fried Chicken."
Well, I'm glad you survived the lightning strike. I'm glad Meg was able to help you craft your positioning statement,
Persona.
really, yeah, your persona. Brilliant. So I'm curious, Bob, and specifically to you, how did you handle the emotional side of being on the show? I mean, your hopes are up, your hopes are down, your hopes are up. What mechanism did you incorporate to keep sane?
Um, I would say the biggest one was the other guys
Mm-hmm.
because you do the limo scene and you walk into the living room and you meet everybody for the first time
Mm-hmm.
and you get to talking and there's the chatting and the camaraderie and then the hi this that and the other, but by the end of the evening it's like, how are you feeling? I mean, it was really fun to see how quickly a bunch of men got down to what are you going through emotionally right now, and what did you think about your limo thing? And everybody would go, oh my God, I had this whole thing down. I had it memorized. I had it rehearsed. And I don't even know if I got through half of it. And I think I just fell flat on my face. I probably looked like an absolute idiot out there. I said, well, if you look like an idiot, then trust me, so did I, because I feel the exact same way. And that was, I think, the first place where everybody started to bond, where everybody kind of said, um, nobody came in and just went, hi, I'm badass, and I just kicked the hell out of that. It was like everybody was able to show a certain amount of vulnerability up front. And once that happened, it was a cascade.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of times when you just would go, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling that. I'm nervous as hell about, blah, 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 blah. How are you dealing with all these cameras on you all the time? And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it was, they were they were definitely the fuzzy blanket.
Agreed. Yeah, I can see that. Wow. And then just two more questions that I'm curious about for you personally, Bob. And one is, how did you manage? Well, yeah, okay. How did you manage to take that time off from work?
Well, the beauty about what I do is I do make my own schedule.
Okay.
So I was able to turn to the state, the courts, the all the people that I do my work for, and go, I'm going to be gone for the month of July. Then they go, well, will you be? Can we send you stuff from the internet? I said, nope. I'm going to be someplace where there'll be no internet. Because I go to Maine regularly, and they get used to that. Because
Mhm.
there are actually still places in Maine where
Well, it happens also in Colorado. My daughter lives in Colorado. One of my daughters lives in Colorado, and they're like, okay, I'm going to be off the grid. It just
exactly.
happens.
So
Well,
yeah,
okay.
so
So
that was
you,
actually quite easy.
okay. And the other guys, anybody talk about that, or were they mostly all retired?
They were mostly either retired or semi-retired, or they had jobs that were flexible enough, or and I hate to say it, I mean, in a couple cases, they would say, "Well, why do you need it?" And they'd say, "I'm going on to Golden Bachelorette," and their work would go, "Oh my God, yes, of course, you got it." Yeah, we're not supposed to share that, but I know that at some point this is the card I got to play if I'm going to get on, and
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
were good.
yeah, yeah. Okay, good. All right, let's see. I think there was one more. Oh, yeah, this was my drop the mic. Did you actually go in believing you could fall in love that fast?
Wow. I went, I'm a very much a romantic, and I went in with a very, very open mind. I didn't go in there to fall in love. I didn't go in there to see if I, wouldn't fall in love. I went in there because here's this lady. She seems quite beautiful. She seems very interesting. And I mean, why not? If I can find love here, great. And the thing that I got most out of the show, and maybe I'm getting ahead of you in a question here, was that yes, I went in there wondering if I could find love, but left definitely wanting to find love.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Well, that's going to melt our grand reader's heart. I know.
Oh, no,
I think
no.
that's awesome.
Talking to the guys, it suddenly was like, hey, even if this is not it, um, everybody just finally decided we're all of us. It's not too late. It's not too late. And then
Mhm.
we just we all left going, no, I'm committed to making this happen again.
Yeah. I have so many of my girlfriends that, I was trying to get a bachelorette party together here to watch the Golden Bachelorette, and they would just, unfortunately, to watch it in real time, it gets too late for them to drive home. They're like, I can't drive home at 10 o'clock at night. So, but they were all saying, I would have taken any of those men. So they had a wonderful selection of guys, truly wonderful,
They
which
did
is
great.
why I'm so interested in writing this piece, because the men were remarkable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to a person, I was like, we still chat. We still send jokes back and forth. And you're not in the picture, Clarence. Come on.
He can be in the picture. It's okay. Hi,
Yeah.
sweetie.
And this is Clarence.
Oh, oh my gosh, look at those ears.
All right. You got your moment on TV, Clarence.
Thank you.
Um, no, it was yeah, it was a great group of guys.
So then what I would also like to know is the emotional depth among the contestants was clearly played up. Um, and 100% genuine. You think that they were really emotionally connected?
Oh my God. Well, I think the proof in that is in the continued desire of these
Mm,
men to
yeah.
still talk and connect and do things. I mean, I'm headed to Chicago in a couple, 3 weeks, and it's like Pascal is like, no, you're coming to have dinner with me. And it's like Jordan's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, dude, we're gonna have to get together and have dinner too. I'm like, no, I'm just visiting the girlfriend. It's only gonna have 4 days there, and maybe next time. But and then Jordan put together an event at a soccer game. There's been all kinds of
Nice.
things, and people will show up to see each other every chance they get. And when we're
Well,
not doing that, we're telling jokes on the chat line. And
well, it's something that I did a little bit of research on about what is it that women over 60 is what I chose need most in their life. And it was friendships. It was friendships. And I did the same thing for men, and it's the same thing. It's
yeah,
friendships. And what's interesting about that, Bob, is that, you know, it's also the hardest thing to keep going because we all have such busy lives. They have busy lives, you have busy lives, that it's hard to keep that as a priority, right? And
yeah.
so it's lovely that you're continuing it, and I salute the men. That's just amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, no, and I think again, part of that is just casting
Yeah,
and
yeah, oh yeah.
the work that they did to assemble that.
All right. So then the last question that I'd like to get your input on is any advice you would give to future either golden bachelors or bachelorettes? What advice would you give to men and women that are thinking about they'd like to go on the show?
Be prepared for emotions you never thought you would have.
Mm-hmm.
Be prepared to find yourself facing, I mean, you'll be facing challenges and demons, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll also be experiencing amazingly wonderful, uplifting things, and it will be a roller coaster. And know that you're not the only person there on a roller coaster,
Yeah.
that all these other guys or all these other women are also on a roller coaster. And the more you can be empathetic towards them, the more you'll get back. And to also give yourself the grace and the space to not suddenly go, oh my God, why am I feeling all this? Just be ready for that.
Yeah.
Be ready, be brave, and be vulnerable, and be the kind of person that you want everybody else to be for you.
Oh, sure. Well, this has been great, Bob. And is there anything you wanted to share that I haven't asked about before we close? I want to give you the opportunity to have a closing statement per se.
No, I mean, I would like to say about Joan. I think she was, I think she is fabulous. She's a lovely, lovely lady. Like I said to her, I think at one point I said, "Look, you're like Gary, but you got to do everything backwards and in heels."
Mhm.
You're, she was able to. The hours that she kept were probably ridiculous. She kept track of stuff that just blew me away. You could have a conversation with her. You'd be one of 20 guys having a 3-minute conversation with her. And the next day, you'd be the 15th guy in that whole series of next conversations. And she could still pull up things
Wow.
from the conversation you had last night or the night before that and reference them. And it's not like she's got somebody whispering in her ear in between takes, oh yeah, this is Bob. This.
Yeah. Right.
No,
Right.
she
Right.
was very, very sharp, and she's been lovely. And she's uh, she's given me a couple of. She gave me the gift of being able to talk about about Meg and the whole queer community that they're part of. And she's done a couple other little very cute, wonderful little things for me that I cannot disclose.
Oh, I'm
Um,
glad.
but
That's so
I
that's
really,
turned out lovely.
that kind of made me go, you're next level, lady. you know.
Well, that's great. Well, Bob, thank you so much. I know our readers are going to be so enjoy this time to get to know you a little bit better. And we just want to say thank you so much. And thank you to all the people that helped make this happen. And we will see each other on the other side.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.